It's better for you not to go on any shows than to go on a bunch of shows half-cocked and unprepared, ruining your chances of being seen as the expert, the go-to thought leader, and attracting those beautiful leads, sales, and clients that you're looking for.
Welcome to the Thought Leader Revolution with Nikki Ballou. Join the revolution. There's never been a better time in history to speak your truth, find your freedom, and make your fortune. Each week, we interview the world's top thought leaders and learn the secrets of how they built a 6 to 7 figure practice. This episode has been brought to you by eCircleacademy.com, the proven system to add 6 to 7 figures a year to your thought leader practice.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the podcast, The Thought Leader Revolution. I'm your host, Nikki Ballou, and we have another exciting thought leader nugget for you. So today, I'm going to talk about the 3 biggest mistakes you need to avoid when podcast guesting. So you've probably been listening to a bunch of my episodes about podcast guesting, and you're probably convinced by now that podcast guesting is a great way to help you get leads, sales, and clients. You're excited about it. You're ready to rock and roll and get on a bunch of shows and get the ball rolling. And that's good. But before you go into it whole hog, you need to be aware that there's some all too common pitfalls and mistakes that people make when podcast guesting, and you need to be aware of them and know how to avoid them. And this is super critical, because if you don't, your hero's podcast guesting journey will not get you to the promised land of lots and lots and lots of new leads and sales and clients. And I'll tell you what, even worse than that, it's got the potential to set you back by ruining your personal brand and your business reputation. And you don't want that. You don't want that. No, sir, no, ma'am, not at all. It's better for you not to go on any shows than to go on a bunch of shows half-cocked and unprepared, ruining your chances of being seen as the expert, the go-to thought leader, and attracting those beautiful leads, sales, and clients that you're looking for. So, Nikki, you're thinking to yourself, what the heck are these pitfalls? Well, let me tell you. The first one is having the wrong intention when you go on a podcast. Most of the people who talk about podcast guesting and who teach it and who offer services dealing with it preach that your intention for going on a show should be to gain visibility, credibility, views, likes, and new followers. That's what you should be doing. And I'm saying to you, there's nothing inherently wrong with that, because those things are good and important. But that's a weak intention. And a weak intention is a lot like a weak erection. It's no good for anybody. At best, it's an indirect way for you to get leads and sales and clients. And as a result, if that's your intention for going on a podcast, you're going to get very little traction in generating leads, sales, or clients. Nobody enjoys weak intentions, just like nobody enjoys weak, I said it before, I won't say it again. Nobody. The intention that you got to have is to actually generate lead, sales, and clients. That should be your intention. Because if that's your intention for your appearance on a podcast as a guest, it's a powerful intention. It's a strong intention. It's to the point. And that intention is a starting point to lead you to actually generate lots of leads, sales, and clients from your podcast guest appearance. Now, I got to tell you this. I can't guarantee that this intention alone is going to get you lead, sales, and clients. Not by itself. But what I can guarantee you is without this intention and with the wrong intention, you have virtually no chance of generating any leads, any sales, any clients from your podcast guest appearance. Now, the second pitfall is going on a show with no structure, no plan for your podcast guest appearance. And if you don't have that intention and that plan and that structure in place to help you generate a breakthrough call as a result of being on the show, you are not going to have that happen. The biggest mistake you can make is confusing a good casual conversation on a podcast with an intentional, impactful, and structured conversation that leads to a breakthrough call and a sales opportunity. Most people who go on shows end up having a good casual conversation and not an intentional, impactful, and structured one designed to get you a breakthrough call. That's why they don't generate any leads, any sales, any clients. You need to plan your podcast guest appearance very carefully, the way you would a TED Talk. The introduction, the body of your talk, and the close must be very carefully pre-planned and laid out before you ever go on a single show. You must know what you're going to say, when you're going to say it, and what the intention of each part of what you say is, and how it helps you with your overall intention to generate leads, sales, and clients from your podcast guest appearance. Because if you fail to do this, you're going to have missed your opportunity to leverage this very powerful platform to help you grow your business. Now, please make sure you take my coaching on this issue and don't skip the step. I'm committed to your success in business, and I'm bringing you these powerful hacks, shortcuts that'll take months, if not years, off your journey to podcast guesting success. Now, the other mistake that people make when they go on a show is they speak to the audience and not the host. This is a huge mistake. You need to speak to the host and work hard on winning him or her over. Because if you do that effectively, the audience will automatically be won over too. If you don't do that and you try to talk past the host, you're destroying your opportunity to generate any leads, sales, or clients from your podcast guest appearance. Why? Because the host is actually a stand-in for the audience. Professional speakers are taught that when they're in front of a live audience, they need to look at a member in that audience and focus on him and speak directly to him. That way, everyone else in the audience will automatically feel like you're speaking directly to them. Focus on the host, speak to him or her, and win him or her over, and you will automatically do the same to the audience. And then lastly and thirdly, another huge mistake that I witness all the time is going on the wrong show with the wrong host and the wrong audience. This is a terrible idea for lots of reasons. The most obvious reason is you're wasting your time that could be better spent being on the right show. But on top of that, you're going to be destroying your self-confidence and your self-belief. This is going to weaken your superhero within, and it's going to strengthen your super villain within, which means you're going to end up not believing in yourself, your dream, or your belief in this amazing method of podcast guesting to generate lead sales and clients for yourself is going to go down the hatch. And all of this is very, very, very bad and easily avoidable. Specifically, if you go on enough wrong shows, your core belief in yourself as a child of God destined to accomplish a great and mighty and important purpose will be eroded. This in turn is going to destroy your belief in your offer and your ability to serve people out of pain. And sadly, I got to tell you, I've watched all too many good people not only abandon this method of marketing, but also their business and their dreams, and their light becomes diminished and the world becomes a lesser place for it. So get on the right shows, make like Nancy Reagan, and just say no to the wrong ones. And for those of you who don't know who Nancy Reagan was, just Google her and the Just Say No campaign. And that wraps up another exciting episode of the podcast, The Thought Leader Revolution. To find out more about this amazing episode, go to the show notes at thethoughtleaderrevolution.com. Check out my book, Get Booked and Get Paid, How to Generate 6 Figures Plus a Year Through Podcast Guesting, for more amazing tips on how to leverage podcast guesting and generate lead sales and clients. And until next time, goodbye.
This episode has been brought to you by eCircleAcademy.com, the proven system to add 6 to 7 figures a year to your thought leader practice.